Hey, it's Leslie with Silent Rolling Acres. Today I was just out in our woods grabbing our water, one of our mobile water tanks because I needed to fill it up, and I thought this might be a good time just to do a quick walkthrough and show how this setup works. So let me show you what we've got. So this is a 60-gallon tank. I'm filling it up at our hydrant back at our barn. This little UTV trailer works pretty good for setup with it. It says 65 gallons. And then just run it with a hitch pin. And then we have a shutoff valve and a hose with a float. We'll show it in action in just a little bit. I've got the tank filled up. We're gonna head back out to the woods and get this set up with our group of rams and bucks who are out grazing in our woods. So let's go. I am in the area where I had the water tank last. Hey, Hera. But I am going to pick up our dog dishes, and then I'll come back for the supplement mineral feeder I just drag along with the gator, so we'll do that later. But what I'm going to do now is move it up farther into our woods. I like to keep the dog dishes by our water just so that way if my husband or my son, they feed the dogs, they always know to look by the water to find the dog dishes. But I'm going to move it up farther. Okay, I just got to the spot where I'm going to set this up, and I should move my camera this way. So I just looked at our virtual fence mapping system, and I can tell I'm actually out of the area where our goats and sheep are grazing. So I'm going to adjust the boundaries to include where I'm at. And part of the reason I'm not going into where they're at right now is because I'm on a established trail in the woods, just simply easier to get around. So I'm going to adjust that and then get everything set up. So this trailer didn't have a hitch, but we added this trailer hitch and then got this hitch pin. So just so I don't lose it, I put it back in, put it on the trailer. Actually roll this right off the hitch. Okay, so let me get the camera moved around so you can kind of see how I set things up once we get it out. So, all right, I'm gonna put this here. So this is a new hose. It's a little, it probably could be better, but it still does the job. All right, so we've got that set up here. So then I just turn on latch there, or just turn on the nozzle there, and then the water kind of gravity feeds into the trough. The reason I like a smaller tank is really for the sheer fact I can keep it cleaner. The water they move through a lot more water. They move through more water in this small tank than they would a big tank. Also, if I am moving them up to a new area every few days, I don't really have any heartburn or loss in dumping out a small tank of water. And even if we have a larger group, they're all not drinking the water at one time because they always have access to water. So that's why I like this as well. And the float is nice because it just will fill it up as it needs to. The other thing I just have to make sure is that it's at a level place. The last place we set it up, it actually wasn't very level and we had all the water drain out. But you know, if you catch it, then it's not a problem. And then I'll just leave this out here. Actually, as I was looking at my setup here, I probably should have pulled over a little bit, but I should be able to turn around and get out of here with no issue. I want to show a little bit here. So there is the setup with the small water tank. That's an old mineral supplement tub, and the float goes with it from a short hose here to this shutoff. This is actually a quick connect, so if we ever need to take things off or tighten things up, we can just pull this out and put it back on, which is really handy. I like having a strap on here because if the water tank is full, sometimes it will offset how it sits on the trailer and slides back. And when it's really full, it's really hard to maneuver. So that's just an extra safety measure to keep things functioning well. And then, as I talked about before, we've got the jack stand for the trailer, which kind of works in tandem with the idea of keeping the tank up front as well too. So, and that is our mobile watering tank station. And actually this can last for quite a while if it's not leaking. So pretty good setup. Just grab the dog dishes, got the mineral feeder. I'm going to be covering how we use our mineral feeders on pasture. Come on, girls, come on, in another video, so you can watch for that. And then the other thing I just want to mention too is if you're interested in learning more about the virtual fence we use, I have a playlist on that as well too, if you're interested in seeing how we're managing our animals here in the woods. Come on, girls, come on. Molly, Hera, come on. Come on. Because I just moved the fence boundary, and for you today, I fed them venison yesterday with their kibble, and they were pretty excited about that. While they eat, I'm going to show you just a little bit of the work that the goats and sheep have been doing for us. Perspective, this is where I just moved up our water and mineral station. So this area right here has not been where our goats and sheep have done any work so far this year. You can see back here, these are actually stumps from where we've actually taken out buckthorn or mulched it down with a V-Con mower. I also have a video on that too if you're interested. But then if you look back here, I'll walk down here in a minute and you can see it, but if we just turn this way, this is where they're actually at right now. This area, while it wasn't as thick with buckthorn, they still have done a pretty good job with the underbrush. And as I move this way, you can start to see where things pick up in where they haven't been yet. So it's pretty crazy to see. It's more impressive in person, I will have to say, than the video doesn't really do it justice. So, okay, so this is the side that they didn't have, and I'm actually going to probably give them access to this as well. But so you can see where they've had a little bit of access to it. There's a mineral tub that I've got to move. But as we come up here, you can start to see now where they've eaten up to on these buckthorn sprouts or regrowth. And actually, this is probably not as good as what goats can do, because we only have 2 bucks out here and everybody else is sheep. So the sheep don't really like to work that hard to get at the brush higher, whereas like our goats like to stand up on their hind legs and nibble more on that. So there'd probably be more damage to this with our goats if we had our full goat herd out here. So you can see a little bit of some of the difference about where the work they've done as well too. So if you're interested, I know this is about a water tank setup for mobile grazing, but if you're interested in seeing what we've been doing on this project as well, you can find that on my channel as well. So have a great day.